And we live.
Hey everybody, welcome to In-House Happy Hour. We are back this week and our special guest is Brittney Borruso of Borruso Law. Brittney is a real estate attorney and she is going to tell us about all things real estate law, like what you need to know if you're buying or selling a house. And we'll also have a very special announcement today.
We have a contest winner.
Woohoo!
We need like a bell or something.
I know.
I'm pretty sure on the promo video we did for that, I got a lot of like mockery about my ding ding ding.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was cute. I'm pulling up the log now.
So anyways, and thanks for everybody who's been tuning in for the contest, and there will be more, but this was what, the third contest? Yeah. So this one I think was my favorite. It got people like really working and submitting cool videos and stuff. So we had all the entrepreneurs coming out. And after tallying up
all of the votes,
do we have anyone watching to even share the winner?
So we do. We have a couple of people watching. A couple of people have joined in so far. Micah's on, so that's fun.
Hey, Micah.
We've got some others on here.
Recently engaged lady.
Yeah, congratulations, Micah. Micah is our credit expert, and she's been on a couple times. And she just got engaged, so that's fun. For our winner, should we announce it now or wait till more people log in?
We'll announce it now. We'll announce it again later.
Okay. All right. The winner
of the promo video contest supporting his local business and not-for-profit organization. This one is geared towards anti-bullying and all positivity, and what else was on this? It was a whole bunch of good vibes he's spreading into mostly schools and whatnot, but he's doing a live tour regarding this. So we got a shot of adrenaline for the winner. Not only did he get the most votes, but everybody loved the energy in the contest, in the video itself, and so the video was great. We loved your promo video, but the idea behind it I think was really a catchy one.
I think that's what got everybody to, it's just a really great cause. It's a great topic, and it's also geared towards kids, which is also always a great thing. So you won. What did he win?
So he wins a professional video to further promote himself and a professional photo shoot. So he'll get to put himself out there more with all his stuff, and so we'll be reaching out to you to arrange that. And not necessarily here, but wherever you want to do it locally, we'll set that up.
Yeah. And we have 7 runners up. So you are not forgotten.
We're
going to have everybody. Yep, we're going to have everybody.
I said to her too before we were doing this, I was like, I don't like doing this. I don't want to say like everyone didn't win.
I know. So everybody gets a participation trophy, I guess, is what we're doing here, participation trophies. So everybody gets a participation trophy, and you get to come on In-House Happy Hour, hang out with us, have a cocktail, talk about your business, talk about anything else you want to talk about, and it'll be lots of fun.
So everybody's invited to In-House Happy Hour. We'll be reaching out to all you guys. So not only for happy hour talk and to go live with us, but we'll be rearranging something to coordinate with you guys and cross-brand and network and brand your stuff as well. So thanks a lot for everyone participating, and congrats to our winner.
Yeah, congrats. We got more people joining in. We got Lila, T-Money, Soriano, Roberts, Emmeline, Monica, lots of people joining in. Mortgage by Mike, Sonic Boom.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Lewis, hi, Lewis, but we have really special gifts from his wife, Lewis.
Ooh, thank you.
So Hadassah made these gorgeous glasses for us for In-House Happy Hour, so we're super excited about those. Thank you, Hadassah. So Lewis, tell her we said thank you if she's not watching. You're going to sip now? Okay. We're doing alternated sipping today. It's a good thing I didn't wear like my rainbow Lisa Frank leopard mask, because I do like to wear that one sometimes. But it is for sure like Lisa Frank, like you remember the binders when you were like in 3rd grade?
And the stickers.
Yeah, all of them. It is Lisa Frank all the way. So I guess it's a good thing I didn't come in with that one today on the video.
I have some spare black ones in the car.
Yes.
Hooked you up.
Some backups. What is your favorite mask brand? Because I'm going with these lately. I don't know, those ones or any fabric. I feel like breaking out. And
I know. So I love this one that I got from a hotel. And I really, really love it because it's nice and soft on the inside. And I got it at the Bellagio. But Hadassah also made me masks, and I like those too. She can do everything, this woman. So she made my Lisa Frank mask, and I love it. But I've actually been switching over to the kids' paper disposable ones. And I wear, the kids' ones are a little smaller, so they don't feel like they're like over here on me.
Like taking up your whole face.
Yeah, they just like, they cover me and they fit better. They're like a little tighter and snugger. So I've been wearing those, especially at the gym lately, because it's too, like, you can just throw it out when you're done, when you get all sweaty. But my kids always have them, and so I'm like, oh, it's actually work for all of us.
One size fits all.
One size fits all. And they have lots of colors.
You're probably like Leon.
I did get some, the satin ones from Blissy. Have you heard of Blissy?
I have.
It's like a pillowcase company. So they do pillowcases, like the satin pillowcases, you know, so you don't get your hair frizzy and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to make you not wrinkle.
She knows all the tricks. No wonder she looks like this.
So I bought their masks because they're supposed to be really good for maskne. Maskne. Did I say that right? Maskne?
Yeah.
Mask acne. Maskne.
Oh, okay.
When you get breakouts from
Yeah,
the mask.
that's what I'm talking about. I'm getting it lately. I
Yeah.
haven't broken out in years. And all of a
That's
sudden-
how, like, I started getting like breakouts sometimes from my mask. So I tried those. I like those too.
Good to know.
Always, you just always got to switch it up though. It's fun stuff.
So, we have some things we're going to ask Brittany about today. Talking law, because she's been super busy, like we all have in this business. But what's been keeping you the busiest? Like, obvious real estate deals, but...
Real estate. So it's been a mix of open, active files that are now finally closing, whether they were files...
Keyword finally.
Finally. Whether they were files that got into contract prior to the pandemic and then wrote it all the way through and finally closed, or files that got into contract towards the end of the year that we're closing out now, and new files. There's a ton of new purchasers and sellers hopping into the market right now. It's very active. It's a very active January.
So we're all feeling that.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you feel like has been the biggest problems you're seeing?
Not enough inventory, of course. A lot of buyers that want to purchase, not enough for them to actually buy. Basically the process. So I do almost everything digitally. So I will get a contract, I will mark it up digitally, send it over to the seller's attorney if I'm the buyer's attorney, get their approval, and then I'll send it to my clients via DocuSign.
I remember seeing this, actually, you were posting about it at the beginning of COVID,
Yes.
and you were probably one of the first attorneys I saw really promoting that you were doing
DocuSign. And I was doing DocuSign prior to the pandemic, but I was doing it only with people who kind of wanted to do it that way. They didn't want to come out and to go to my office and do it in person. Now, I cannot tell you the last time I signed a contract in person with clients. Everything is DocuSign.
Why not?
They read it, I schedule a phone call, I review the contract with them just like I would do if it was in person.
Saves you time,
And it
And
helps
them too.
them. I'm able to get a buyer, get a contract, and get a buyer signed to the same day.
But
Which is
normally it's like, well,
important.
the contracts were written today,
Right.
so we'll sign it. And then by the time it gets back, and then...
And then
Right.
they have to schedule to come to your office, and if they're busy, I have clients call me on their lunch break, and I get them into contract.
Yeah.
So using DocuSign and technology has been by far the most helpful part of getting through the pandemic and also getting through how busy and how competitive it is. So one of the biggest problems is how competitive the market is. If you don't move quickly to help your client get their house, they might not get their house and they're not going to be happy about that. So
So a lot of pressure on you.
it's a challenge, yes.
Yeah, I know from like a realtor's perspective, we rely on the attorneys that we use to get those buyers in to sign to secure that house because they're going to keep showing the house until it's fully under
So
contract.
it's fully executed, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really like it serves the client's needs best to get them signed as quickly as
Quickly
possible.
as possible, yeah.
Yeah, and to get it done the right way.
Right. And then even wiring down payments. So I've had a lot of buyers who are wiring out their down payment to the seller's attorney to avoid the craziness of UPS and I'm not to say that, and FedEx and the post office.
It's okay, we don't have any sponsors. We're good.
Yeah,
Right?
Maybe. But, you know, it's been crazy. People are losing mail left and right, and I've heard horror stories of people sending out their down payment checks and it disappearing. So people are using wiring directly to the seller's attorney's.
I'm seeing that more. I never used to see wiring.
Yeah. Because, again, it just makes it faster. It secures your deal, gets you into contracts, gets you your house.
I never wired money in my life until just putting a down payment on a house recently. I never wired money ever. And then I realized at that moment that I could do it from my phone.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, I can wire like tens of thousands of dollars from my phone. That's amazing. There's no reason why nobody else can do that.
Right? Exactly.
It's fantastic.
Saves time, saves...
Right. And from a lender perspective, do you source that the same way?
Same way. It's actually simpler. No.
Simpler. There you go.
And I didn't think so. Actually, I had one recently, and I never get wires. Simple. They just showed the wire. That's all I had to look for.
Wow.
Yeah, the wire detail. That's what I had to do on mine.
Bank
I had to
statement
print out
showed the wire, and
info
that was
sheet.
it. Don't need a copy of a check. I don't need... Very simple.
So easy. It's great. I love it. So how long have you been practicing law?
So I graduated law school in 2013. I was sworn in to the New York State Bar in 2014. So however long that is, maybe.
You're almost 7 years.
7 years. But I've been out on my own with my own practice for 6 of those 7 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
So you're located in Long Beach.
Yes, located in Long Beach, but I service most of Long Island. I don't really go out to the Hamptons or Montauk, so I say most of Long Island. And parts of the boroughs. I'll do Queens, Brooklyn as well.
That's great.
Thank you.
That's great.
Probably the big bulk of your business is Long Island, right?
Definitely. The big bulk of my business is 100% Long Island based, but I do travel if I have to.
Okay. Very good. What was your other question?
Wonderful.
Rebecca has like a whole quiz.
I do.
Sure.
I like to be prepared. Kind of a nerd when it comes to homework. Okay, so tell like our viewers who are just like from a buyer and seller perspective, what is your role in the real estate process? Because what tends to happen for us as like a realtor or for Danielle as a lender from the lender side, what ends up happening is like we like for a buyer, I'm like, all right, we got to get your offer in. Okay, great, you're accepted. Do you have an attorney? And most of the time their answer is no, or let me get one. And we always say like, if you don't have a personal recommendation, let us refer one to you, because not all attorneys are created equal. The last thing we really want you doing is going on Google and just searching, right? Real estate attorney and picking the first one on the list.
My favorite is
not real estate attorney.
Not real estate or the cheapest one. Oh, they're really cheap. I'm like, okay, really cheap is not always really valuable.
Exactly. So tell us about your role in the process of buying and selling, and what you think kind of sets you apart.
Sure. So you want the role of just an attorney in general, and then what sets me apart as an attorney?
Yeah.
So the role of an attorney representing a buyer or a seller is to help the buyer and seller get into contract, which is when the deal itself becomes binding. So until you have a fully executed contract where the buyer has signed, the seller has signed, the down payment check has been tendered to the seller's attorney, you don't actually have a binding deal. So the first step of the attorney is to help the buyer or seller get into that binding contract to solidify your deal. And then as the transaction progresses towards closing, the attorney's role is to kind of keep everything on track, to be communicating with the realtor, to be communicating with the lender, and of course with the client, to make sure that the client is working with their lender to get their loan commitment letter, if there is a loan, of course. Coordinating with the title company, ordering title, making sure that any title issues that are coming in are getting cleared, and then, just coordinating with the parties to sort of see if the seller is getting the house prepared to get it cleared out to actually close, and making sure everybody's on the same page time-wise. And then, of course, representing the client at the closing itself. And the closing is when the buyer becomes the new owner of the home. All of the remaining money and the bank money is coming to the table, and the seller is transferring the deed to the purchaser. So I represent the seller or the purchaser, or sometimes the bank, if I'm acting as bank attorney, at the closing itself. So my role as attorney is kind of all-encompassing from the contract phase to the closing phase, And sometimes if I get involved early enough, so if a client is working with me when they're searching for homes or getting their pre-approvals, I'll even help navigate them through that process to the extent I can, of course, and not stepping on the realtor or the lender's toes, but helping through that process as well.
That was like the most easy to understand but yet textbook definition of it. Because I feel like so much of the terminology in real estate and law is like so just confusing to the average day person. And that was very well put.
Thank you, appreciate it. And what sets me apart is, kind of what I was saying before. I'm very technologically savvy. I work quickly, and it's pretty much just me. I've actually brought on another attorney who's been assisting my law firm this year. But when you call, you're getting me. When you email, you're getting me. I'm super involved in my clients' files, and they know what's going on, and I know what's going on at all times. And I work quickly because I'm using technology to help me work quickly, which helps my clients and helps the people that are part of the transaction as well.
So we feel the difference on our side as a lender and real estate. Of course, the borrower feels a huge difference when they're working directly, of course, with the attorney and getting to you and speaking with you. Like, that's not very usual, as we know. I mean, we speak with paralegal, we might get somebody in the office, we might get switched off if the process is taking too long on a file. I mean, I had a file recently, it was a long one, and it was my borrower's fault. It was a long one. I probably dealt with throughout the process. We got switched off. I said, oh, okay, you're on my file now in the office. It was a different paralegal every other week.
Oh boy.
I mean, they worked great, but it was just like, okay.
It's just good to have that continuity of one person knowing from step one what was negotiated and making sure that finds its way to the end of the closing.
No, that's huge. And you feel the difference. It's so much more personal, and it's a different connection.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of work for you.
It's a lot of work, it is. This is the earliest I've stopped working since last year.
It's a little treat for Brittany.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone tuning in with questions?
So we don't have any questions yet, but I do want to let everybody know who's watching the live that if you have any real estate questions, especially from a legal perspective, please post them, and we're monitoring the chat so that we can ask her questions.
Let us know. Pick her brain a little bit. Yeah,
we've got her here, so let's ask her some good questions today.
None of the weird questions we get on our feeds.
No weird questions. Come on.
What you wearing under that, Rebecca?
Oh God. Oh please no. You're gonna see us start blushing.
Nobody can see though. The masks are.
I know, right?
Because I'm the first one to start blushing. So easily. I get embarrassed so easily.
So that's actually, you guys kind of brought up one of the things that I really like about when we've worked with you before, is that when we reach out to Brittany, she works with us. So it's really great because we can reach out to her and we can get a really quick update and just be like, hey, like, what's title looking like on this file? Are we cleared on title, or are we ordering a survey, or what? And she gets back to us really quickly, which is phenomenal. And it's really clear too. Like, she completely answers the exact question that we need to know, which helps us to serve our clients better. Also, whenever you're in this situation too, when like lender, attorney, realtor, other attorney, you have all these people. When everybody really works together, what's nice about it is that it actually makes it easier for the client, because the client has less phone calls, the client has less emails. Yep. They know that they could contact one of us and get the right answer and get the same answer that they would get from any of us, which is really nice, because they're not calling me and then calling you and then calling her. They're calling one of us, or one of us is calling them and giving them the full update that's for everybody, basically. And
everybody's on the same page.
Agreed. It's also even nice when other attorneys and other realtors work nicely together. Yeah. It really makes the difference between a deal that's easygoing and smooth versus one that's hostile or frustrating. Oh my God, what a difference it is in a closing. Such a difference.
It is.
I'm a big advocate too, so like you were saying earlier, I mostly work in Long Island, of kind of staying in your area and not going too far out of the norm, because if I do a deal in Long Island, it's very likely that I know the other attorneys, I know the other realtors, I know the lender. It just makes it smoother, and I know the product, right? So if you consider the house or like Long Island as a product, you know your product.
Yeah, if it's a split, what you're getting. If it's a cape, what you're getting. You can anticipate.
Right.
It's such a difference when everyone genuinely works together on a file.
and communicates.
The closing I had a few weeks ago was just like that. We were at the closing. It was like a party in there. Every party was, even the listing agent, she knew because she was just like, wait. And I was a little flattered. She thought that I was older than I was. But I heard them whispering about me, and she said something like, wait, that's Danielle at Slender? I thought she was like, no, I think she's in her 20s. I'm like, okay. And everyone, but it was like a big party. It was so different. I've had I'm sure you've seen it too, the other side of it, where everyone's
We've all
like
had
bumping
them.
heads. Are we there? But we're all common goal here.
Right.
Yeah, we all want to
have
close.
the common goal.
Like, we all want to get those people into their house or out of their house and into their next house.
We're all
That's the
here.
goal.
Like no one wants, we all want the same thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we want it to be as easy as possible
Yes.
for those buyers and sellers because they already have full-time jobs. This is our full-time job. They already have stuff to do. Like, that's what we're here for, to make it easier for them.
That's right.
Exactly.
What made you choose real estate law?
That's a good question. So I don't know if I necessarily went into law school saying, I'm going to do real estate law. No, I definitely didn't. When I went into law school, at first I thought I was going to litigate and be the next big civil rights litigator or defense attorney.
I can kind of see you doing that.
And then I went to court and I hated it. There's way too much red tape. You don't get anything done. Things sit for 2 years, 3 years, and like you said, in real estate, you all have a common goal just to get something done.
And you didn't feel like you were getting anywhere.
Right, and I like to get things done. I want to have a project, start it, and finish it, and have a goal to aim to, and it not take 3 years.
That's huge.
Except
though.
for in new constructions, like I was saying earlier. But then I started doing more like business and intellectual property law. And part of my practice still is doing small business law.
Right, I remember that.
And then it just kind of transitioned naturally into real estate because it's all contractual based. So business was all contracts, and then real estate was contracts, and then I just never stopped. And it just spiraled into being mostly real estate. And I really enjoy it because, like I said, I like starting a project and finishing it. I like reading and drafting.
You can feel the end goal. It's a different
contracts and getting to that end goal. So
because if you were sticking with your original, you're not necessarily
right
feeling it or getting there. Yeah, it's a big
and I
difference.
wanted to run my own business, so I did always want to open my own law firm. Hey, open my own law firm. And
You want to join the girl party?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's say hello. What's up, the drinks?
Hey,
What's
how
up,
are you?
everybody? What's happening? What's
Welcome,
happening?
Christian.
This trio right here. Watch out. Watch out. I want to take a picture. You guys are great. Awesome.
And I think practicing.
Always an interruption.
Sorry. We like
love
it.
ya.
Real estate law is like a good fit for working out on your own. It's something that I'm able to do on my own, unlike a litigation practice.
But you kind of need a team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Fell into it.
So
but
she's
it
an
was a great
independent
fit.
woman.
Well, I think like most people in our business, we all really want to. All of us really have that drive to be on our own in some way, or to have our own control, our own freedom. And I mean, that's important to me. That's important to a lot of people, just to have your own say. You don't have somebody else telling you what to do and when to do it, and
The freedom.
I mean, that's owning your own business. So you own all the responsibility, which can be heavy and it can be hard, but you also have all the control and all the freedom. So hey, you do what you want. You don't like that responsibility anymore, just change your business.
Yeah.
Do it differently.
It's true.
Yeah. So if you're like a first-time home buyer and you're under contract for a house, and we get under contract and everything's going great, we run a title report and we end up with issues. What are like the most common types of issues that you see come up?
So title is complex because the title company does search for certain things that are not actually title exceptions, which means, for instance, what comes up a lot that's an issue in the transaction is open permits or violations or missing permits. For instance, if the seller added an extension to the house but didn't open up a proper permit for it, that extension was done illegally. The buyer thinks it's legal, and then when we find out it's not, they want it to be legalized. Those things come up a lot as part of the title search, but they're not actually title related issues in the sense that the title company does not insure over those. They provide those for information purposes only. So you could actually close without that holding you up, except your attorney probably does not want you to, and your lender might not want you to either. So I just kind of want to differentiate that, because a lot of people get confused on that aspect from title related issues. So a title related issue that would keep you from having clear title could be people deed their property into a trust, and the contract is in the name of the individual, and the person, I've had this happen a few times, they were like, I don't even remember making a trust. Well, you had to have at some point, so then you have to go track down.
It is very easy to not remember that you made a trust, honestly. Like, I've done it before.
Okay.
Done it, had a trust, like.
And you forgot about it?
It was just like one of those things, like, I never really thought about it. You know, it was just like you do it, but you just, it's like a will. You do it, and then you just forget about it, and you don't worry about it again.
But they've actually deeded their house into the name of the trust. So then we have to go find the attorney that drafted the trust for them, hope they're still around, get a copy. So that's one issue. That's usually a solvable issue. But it takes time, and it's frustrating when you're in it. The other one that's coming up the most, did you guys see my jingle around Christmas time?
Oh, that was so cute.
Wait, I don't remember.
Did you make that?
I did.
It was so cute.
That's how crazed I was in the moment. I made a Christmas jingle.
I don't think I saw that. I have to go back and look.
You
Is
have
it
to
on your
look.
Instagram?
I meant to ask if you made that, or it was just a generic. It was really cute.
No, I made it up, and it was a lot of like the frustrating things that we were dealing with during this pandemic. And one of them is missing mortgage satisfaction letters. So if you've owned your home, she's shaking her head, yes. If you've owned your home for a long time and you've had multiple mortgages throughout the process of you owning, a lot of times if you've paid your mortgage back in full but not in connection with selling it, they send the mortgage satisfaction letter directly back to the homeowner, and the homeowner looks at the letter and tosses it somewhere and doesn't read where it says that they were responsible for recording that satisfaction of the mortgage in the county clerk's office. And then what inevitably happens is that the title search gets run. There's no title insurance policy from the seller to look back on because it wasn't in connection with the sale that they cleared up this mortgage. They've lost the paperwork, and then the lender has gone out of business. And you're stuck trying to figure out how in the world you're going to prove that this mortgage that they claim they paid off is in fact paid off. So that was probably the biggest thing title related that was coming up during the pandemic, specifically when it was harder to try to contact people or get documentation. Like, it was much easier pre-pandemic to find documents or to contact parties to get the documents you needed. Another issue, and I don't usually do any like trust or estate type work, I leave that to other attorneys, but another issue that was coming up a lot during the pandemic was that the surrogates court was closed. And so the title companies were unable to search certain records in surrogates court. And so if you were representing a homeowner who was selling from an estate and they didn't have their proper paperwork in order, meaning they didn't hire an attorney, or they did it themselves, or they hired an attorney and they still didn't have the proper paperwork in order, you couldn't close your transaction until surrogates court reopened. So that was a headache, and surrogates court is still a headache. So that's
still backed up, I'm sure.
It's still
even if
crazy
it's
backed
old,
up.
I'm sure they're
So
backed
anybody
up.
that unfortunately like passed away during the pandemic, that was an issue because you were not able to sell the house without the proper paperwork if they didn't have a will, or you had to probate the will. So that was a big headache during the pandemic.
I'm sure you dealt a lot with that during the pandemic.
A lot. And then, like I said, the not title related issues that did come up in the report, like certificates of occupancy violations, that's a problem for most banks or some banks, and it's a problem for your attorney usually.
Yeah.
I want to hear something juicy.
I'm not sure I'm allowed to tell juicy things.
I want to come on a rookie mistake in law.
A rookie mistake that I
Like, what did? Yeah.
Okay, I can give you that because it's myself. Sure.
Okay.
So, when I first started out on my own, so you know when you get a payoff letter for like a condo or one family, it's very simple. You usually just call the bank and they'll send you a payoff letter in like one day.
Yep.
maybe 2 days. When you order a payoff letter for co-op, it takes up to 2 months, depending on where they put the original stock and lease, what warehouse and what state. So as a rookie attorney, I did not know it took that long.
And you waited.
And I waited way too long to order it, and then I was kicking myself at the end because it was my fault for not having ordered it earlier, but I was going based off of, it's gonna take a day or 2 days.
Yeah, I'll order it when I order it.
But we closed the deal, it was fine. I only held it up by like 1 week, but I still felt bad about it.
Did you take the blame, or you didn't even have to? Probably.
No, I took the blame.
Yeah.
If I make a mistake, I own up to it.
Because sometimes there's other things going on in a transaction that can kind of like push it under the rug anyways.
No, I told everybody in the transaction, my client included, like, you know what, I messed up. I waited too long to order it. I'm really sorry.
Wow.
And
you know what? Admitting that type of stuff, it goes such a long way. I say it all the time. We have a whole conversation about this stuff.
Because then nobody's like sitting there going back and forth.
There is no going back and forth. Just
right? You just like,
up doesn't really.
This happened.
I remember
now we have to deal with
the
it.
seller's attorney was like, you know what? It's okay. Like, it happened to me actually when I first started out in practice, and then we giggled about it.
Right. Exactly. So tell us about the law schoolie.
Okay. Sure. So the law schoolie is something that I came up with conceptually in my head probably in the beginning of 2019, way before the pandemic.
Wait, I don't know about this.
Well, you're going to find out.
And I represent some business clients, and a lot of my business clients have like food trucks, or I'm seeing food trucks, and I thought to myself, why can't I have my law firm or a portion of my law firm in a bus? Mobile on the road, so that I can go do a closing at a client's house because I have full access to Wi-Fi inside my bus and printers and scanners and copiers, which is what all you really need to do a closing. And then I would have business clients who would ask me to come to their restaurant because they wanted me to see what was going on at their restaurant, but then we start to talk shop and they wouldn't have anything for me to type on or write on or print documents from. So it's like, it would be so great if I had something like a mobile office to take to these places with me. And then I kind of put it like in the back of my head, and also a couple of people told me I was crazy. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll forget about it.
Which is usually the best ideas.
But a mobile closing would be phenomenal.
A mobile closing, and then the pandemic happened. And I said,
and they really
no
thought
time
you were crazy.
like the present. And I went out and bought a small school bus.
No way.
You have to look at my Instagram. I have a small school bus.
I've been on though. How have I missed this?
I just posted about it recently. So if you weren't on Insta recently, you might have missed it.
Okay.
And I went out and I bought a small school bus. I bought 2 by accident, so I have to sell one of them. It was in an auction.
The only person that accidentally bought 2 school buses.
2 buses?
I bought 2 because I won 2 of them in the auction.
Oops.
But I'm only using 1 if somebody else wants the
If
other.
anybody needs a bus,
we
got you.
Brittany's got an extra school bus.
And I just have to convert it. And once it's converted, it will be a way to do closings on the road or in parking lots. Because during the pandemic, I know you guys weren't really allowed to come to the closings, but we were literally doing closings.
I mean, how cute would that be if you were doing it outside somebody's house
Exactly.
and they could be like cheering them on in the driveway?
I mean, I just did a closing last week where my clients did not feel comfortable sitting inside of a room or being around anybody else. And so we all agreed to do what we call the parking lot closings, where everybody parks in their car next to each other. But it's difficult because I then was the gopher running between the cars and then running inside into a building to go print things, copy things, scan things. Whereas if the pandemic remains the way it is, or if people just decide they no longer want to go indoors, you can have that type of setup and still do your closing a little bit more seamlessly.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think it's phenomenal.
So you still have to renovate the bus and everything now?
Yes. So right now I'm in the process of
I like getting
converting it.
Tools and everything. If you want some help, that could be.
I'll let you know. That's going to be the most difficult part of it.
That'll be fun though. That's going to be so cool. So
That's going to be awesome. You could do a closing in front of the new house, which I think would be really fun.
How cute would that
to like
be?
literally do it in front
At
of the
your
house.
house. I
like
like that
you could
idea.
do it in your driveway.
Yeah.
That'd be a game changer. even for older people,
Yes.
or I had a disabled person who wanted to come to a closing. So a little bit back, it was actually right before the pandemic. So there was a lot of precautions with that. Not having, still being a part of it or whatever it may be. That's huge.
Hopefully I get the bus done soon.
All right, so anybody who's handyman, anybody watching?
Yeah. Maybe we got some people out there who know how to convert. There's like a show, a TV show. My kids used to watch it about like converting RVs and stuff into different things.
That's cool.
Can't even remember what it's called, but
oh wait,
they're like
I'm
famous.
I'm thinking freaking Pimp My Ride.
No, it's not Pimp My Ride.
That would be great, actually.
Are they still around?
I don't think so.
Imagine.
I don't know.
Perfect. Pimp my school bus.
You'd probably get
School
it.
bus. Brittany needs somebody to pimp her school bus.
Tom's like, they're not still around, Danielle. You're aging yourself. Pimp My Ride is not a thing anymore.
That is awesome.
God.
Well, I'm super excited about law schooling.
Thank you.
I think it's
questions.
awesome.
Any questions down there?
No, I think we're good.
Oh, no! I meant to.
There's always something,
Anyone
right?
asking questions on the feed?
No questions on the feed, actually. But maybe we just give up on this for now. So
Bye, guys.
we pretty much don't get through a single
We normally
video
cause a ruckus
without some kind of a problem, right? It's like kind of our thing. We have issues sometimes.
We're working on it.
I don't have any other questions.
Can I bring up the polar bear plunge quickly?
Yes,
You guys donated to
please.
that, so.
Please.
Okay, so every year for the past 8 years, this will be year 8, I participate in the Long Beach Polar Bear Plunge, which is a fundraiser to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which is a very good cause that helps children who are very sick get like wishes and things that make them happy for just a little bit of time. So it's a great cause, it's all tax deductible, and on the Super Bowl every year, like a crazy person, I run into the freezing cold ocean to do my plunge, and people sponsor me by donating money. So
Where is it?
It's in Long Beach. This year it's a little bit different. It's not officially sanctioned. They're telling everybody to plunge from home, still raise money, of course, and then plunge from home. I'm going to do the plunge on the day of the Super Bowl because I feel like it's a little cheating not to. So the thing is, whatever the weather is that day,
Yeah.
you have to roll with it. You don't get to pick the warm weather day. If it's snowing, you're still jumping in the ocean. I've done it. You're still jumping in.
Are you wearing like a wetsuit?
No,
or
I'm wearing a
like a bathing suit.
You're really going in a bathing suit.
That's so cold.
Every year for the
Like
past
I don't
year.
even go in the ocean in August because it's too cold.
So I won't get my hair wet. Like I'll put my hair up because I
Yeah.
don't
And that makes a
want
big
to
difference though
actually die.
on the
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah.
The coldness though, if you don't get your hair
If
wet,
you don't
does
get your
help.
hair wet, it does help a lot. I mean, it's horrible. The second you get in, your body's like pins
Numb.
and needles,
Oh.
and you're numb, and then you come out and you're not cold because you can't feel your body anyways. But it's for a good cause, and it's exhilarating. So this year, I actually raised the most money I've ever raised, even though it's not an official or being done the official way. It's usually
Yeah.
done. And you guys donated, so thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that.
Of course.
So if anybody wants to donate, you can go to the link in my bio on my Instagram page. Still accepting donations, and
That's
it's
enough, guys.
totally tax deductible.
Yes. So donate to Make-A-Wish
Yes.
through Brittany's page. We'll put the link on our site too.
Yeah, we'll add it to our pages.
I'll put it on my link tree so you guys can see it also, and we'll help her raise a little extra money too for those kids.
And
Awesome.
then if you follow me, I'm gonna try to do a live from the beach so you can see me
Oh, I'm watching
jumping in.
I definitely want to see that.
Should we join, Rebecca? Should we join?
Maybe.
I think at least one time in your
Like,
life.
I think we should.
I'll do it.
That's
I
for a
might
good cause.
cry.
I wouldn't do it this year because this year is not like
Not as fun.
normal. Yeah. So when the pandemic ends, then make that your year that you do it because there's thousands of people usually.
Yeah.
And everybody is just so hyped and ready to go.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's a really
It's
fun
cool.
I do
exhilarating
like that idea a
experience.
lot.
Yeah.
I'd probably get over the cold through the adrenaline.
Yeah.
We're gonna do
Drink
it
a
next
little.
year. We'll do it next year.
Drink a little, you warm up.
I got a year to train for the polar plunge.
I know people who take like ice baths for fun. Or for health.
For health.
I used to do it like like training, like when training for marathons and stuff, I would take ice baths afterwards. After like I ran 20 miles, it was terrible.
Terrible.
It's like you're getting in and it's all full of ice, and you're like, maybe I should just add some hot water to this. And see if it
That has
helps.
so many benefits.
Yeah, I know. People get in those like cryo chambers and stuff. I know people who do it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I get in those infrared saunas, so I'm like the
I do
complete
those.
opposite.
Yeah, I do those. I like to sweat.
I'm like, keep bumping that up. Keep bumping that up. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Brittany, so much for coming
Thank you for
on.
having me.
Brittany.
And thank you
So
for my
great.
cup. It's so cute.
Of course,
Thank you.
of course, you're
Thank you.
welcome. It was so great. Guys, if you have more questions about anything real estate law related, please
She's so
just send them
accessible.
over.
Reach out to her anytime.
Yeah, definitely. We've worked with Brittany a couple times. It's been phenomenal. So great. So I highly recommend her from personal experience.
And if you
you.
follow her stuff, she's always posting really good information as well.
All right, and we'll see you next week. And congratulations, Shot of Adrenaline, on your big win.
Yes, congrats to our contest winner. We'll be posting it as well. We'll put up a post
Yep.
for our contest winner.
Mhm.
And we'll reiterate all that as well in a post like we usually do.
Yep. All right, thanks, guys. See you next week.
Thanks, guys. And cut.
Download it, share it to IGTV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. We don't proof anything anymore. We just post.
That was
This is
fun.
good.
Thanks, guys.
I usually say the most awkward things during this part because you think it's
You
over.
can put your title. I did it though. I think it's over. It's like, I'm tired.
This is when I
Uh-huh.
say the weirdest.
Where it's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it
show-
actually ended and it actually like ended.
She forgets to finish ending
There's
hers.
Always.
and then ending.
I'll like press end, but for some reason it doesn't end, and we'll be like talking about the live. I'll be like, oh,
I think
that
it's over.
person
So don't
was
say anything bad just in case.
that person who was talking